All right, our producer forgot to hit record, so run it back from the top. What's up, grappling fans? Welcome back to the FloGrappling show here in beautiful Flow Studios. As always, we got Joey Gilps over here with the old Lethal Weapon hairstyle going. That thing's feathered and lethal, looking like White Goodman. That's WHITE. You know what I'm saying? We got Uncle Reed right there, and then we got Big Slack Barrett on the side desk running the ones and twos. Last week, if you tuned in, we gave you guys a very well-oiled, structured show, all right? And all of our cues were hitting. Everybody was getting their bits off, getting their jokes in right when we had them scheduled. We have a ghostwriter now who writes all of our jokes ahead of time. So if you don't think our jokes are funny, dude, let us know, and we'll find a new ghostwriter, all right? So that's not on us. But today's show, we're going to do a little bit of a weekend roundup. We're going to tell you guys some of the things, some of the happening that's been going on in the jiu-jitsu world. I think we're gonna actually look at the schedule this time. We teased it last time. We didn't do it, so we're going to do it this time. Look at the schedule, maybe do a little early Pans preview, early BJJ Stars preview, and then we have some viewer-submitted questions straight from you guys into our dome ski, and then we're bouncing it back out to you with those hot answers that I know you guys want so much. But just, overall, anybody watching jiu-jitsu this weekend? Anybody see anything out there?
Well, we had the Austin Open here in Austin. That was a big tournament.
Yep. I think there were like 4 IBJJF Opens going this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
IBJJF Open scene is honestly pretty crazy. There was an ADCC Open as well in Portland, right? Portland. So
there was a UFC this weekend, a couple other things going down. But yeah,
big
plenty
boxing card over in Riyadh. Yeah, a lot of fight sports going on.
Hell yeah. So the Austin Open, I know, kind of attracted some high-profile athletes. I know we saw Kolabate versus Sam Nagai ended up in that one. I think that one went to like a 2-point kind of whatever, but a little bit of a pan preview there, potentially Sam Nagai and Cole, or eventually down the road at Worlds or something.
But also we missed
the big one.
Yeah, Kade Ruotolo's MMA fight, which I believe was the weekend previous or
like Friday morning.
Yeah, it was super early on Friday.
Okay, super early on Friday
of last week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously Kade Ruotolo, I would say right now, in my opinion, the best representative of jiu-jitsu and MMA currently doing it. I know like Bushesh is out there too, not quite as active. Kade seems super active, So he's kind of like, if you're a jiu-jitsu fan, you got to tune in to Kade Ruotolo just to cheer him on and everything. But
yeah, we're always going to be watching Kade out there fight for sure. So
100%. So we can just kind of, we'll watch this, it's on the One Championship YouTube channel. So,
Actually, can we go back for a second? Because he's obviously already into some stuff. I just look at how Kade starts out. Head kick into a leg lock.
So nuts,
just
dude.
immediately already doing such Kade Ruotolo. And I thought he was going to get it for a second, too.
Like nobody looks like Kade Ruotolo in MMA. Like nobody's doing this stuff. Head kicks straight into a heel hook attempt, straight into a straight ankle attempt, back to throwing hands, back to
the clinch,
taking this dude
Such
down.
a maniac, dude.
I know.
This is the first 30 seconds of the match.
Kade threw that head kick, honestly, just run it back again. Let's watch it again. Kade threw that head kick, I think at like the 7
Who says
second.
grapplers can't strike?
Yeah. Literally at 7 seconds, throws a head kick into a heel hook. The new meta? Is this the new MMA meta right here?
He's just being an absolute crazy person.
Yeah, now everybody at the gym is going to be throwing head kicks into their heel hook.
Yeah. Dude, I got this sick new setup. Maybe play it as picture-in-picture, Nikki, just so we don't get copyrighted, potentially. Fair use law,
And such.
Adding our own commentary and whatnot.
Love the haircut, too. The braids, cornrows.
Braids.
Always looking the part. Kade Ruotolo. And he's on the back.
At this point, like in an MMA match, if you have an MMA match against Kade Ruotolo and, he gets here, it's over with.
Dude, roll that back real quick. You saw he went for those old school, keep going back.
BJ Penn style.
The old, right here where he gets the heel kick to the stomach. Oh, you see that? The little heel to the solar plexus right there.
Kade's a maniac, dude.
Now he's working with some OGs. Isn't he training with Eric Paulson?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
For sure. He's got a badass little crew there with at the Tenori gym, but also I think beyond.
Yeah, this is Kade's 3rd win. Really great performance from him. Best he has looked overall. This is the first time where I felt like he really just straight up mauled somebody in his first fight. It was a He looked fine, and then in his second fight, he got a big knockdown early and kind of swarmed the guy. This one was just a sustained onslaught from the rip. He really took this guy out of it.
Do you know anything about this Nicholas Vigna guy?
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, one championship, their MMA rosters are a little thin. So, he's been around. He's been decent. But has more experience than Kade, certainly, at least in MMA. And Kade came out and he looked like the veteran. He looked like the big dog here. Good stuff.
How many fights away you think is Kade from a title shot here?
Who knows, dude?
I mean, in one championship, it could be like his next fight.
Yeah.
How does one usually...
Who's the champion over there? Forget.
I couldn't tell you who in his division is the champ. They won championship. Their grappling is pretty good. It is really good. And their kickboxing, like their Muay Thai, is really, really good. It's really elite. But some of their MMA divisions are a little bit thinner. And so once you start racking up wins, it is like... okay, kind of title shot time, once you get 2 or 3. But Kade is definitely a project. Kade is somebody that they have a lot of long-term interest in. So I'm hoping at least 2 or 3 more before, he's really thrown into the deep end there.
Have you guys ever grappled with gloves on? I wonder how hard it is. How
It
much
sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's also even just like introducing light striking with gloves on. If you've ever done that, like essentially just MMA style grappling, it just changes everything.
Yeah, super different.
So many positions you
Kade
just
going to the
can't
arm
sit in,
triangle
right?
here.
So you just get so used to sitting in certain positions that you cannot sit in.
Because I always see like the B team videos there with like Damian Anderson. He's always got the gloves on and stuff. And I was always wondering. I've never seen that. Have you ever seen somebody tap the ref?
On the referee. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Have you
Go
ever
back
seen
for a
somebody
second. Look
tap
at
the ref?
Look at the guy, is so out that he is begging to the referee. I don't know if I've ever seen that either. That's a good shout read. Really, really incredible. And then, Kade just being the man afterwards, gets the $50K bonus from Chatri. Pretty cool.
So nuts.
Like, is there a cooler celebration than the Ruotolo's? Is like
I was about to
Darce
say
celebration?
that,
That's
The Darce thing, yeah.
that's so sick. What a sick
Super epic.
MO.
All right, there's Eric Paulson.
Oh yeah,
Beast, dude. That's crazy. Shout out Kade, holding it down on the MMA scene.
Yeah.
I feel like when I started filming more with Kade and working more with Kade, it was kind of like everyone always knew, like, eventually these dudes are going to be like the most famous dudes we know. Like Kade and Kade Ruotolo. It was just like at a trajectory where I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to soak this in while I can, because eventually you're going to be like the biggest combat sports superstar on the planet. Like both of them, Kade and Ty, So it's kind of nuts to now see them actually like Kade's becoming one of the biggest draws, I bet, for one championship, biggest dude. So I am curious how they'll use him. I know, say if he was in UFC, like coming up through UFC, which I know he's not there yet, but like Sean O'Malley got that, kind of like that hand-picked path all the way through to become the superstar for UFC that he is now. And it's like, yeah, I don't know, is one gonna spend more time letting him stack up these wins, or what? Will he eventually jump to UFC? I don't know. Would be epic. Might be hard, but would be epic.
Would be epic. Kade, I think wherever you put Kade, he is going to find a way to rise to the top. He is going to be the man. So, just hopefully we can keep him going with as many challenges as possible. He also holds the 170-pound championship over there. And there is a ton of grappling fights that we still want to see him in. You know what I mean? So many rematches, so many new fights that we want to see him in. More Kade Ruotolo in my life, the better.
Yeah, I know Ty too. I feel like we haven't seen Ty in a minute here, but obviously I love watching Ty just as much as Kade. And he's going to be going up against Dante Leon at one, so that's a pretty unreal match, Dante versus Ty,
It's an awesome
which would be for the one strap, right?
Yep.
I don't know what weight class they're doing it, but
They fight who's in one championships, or
I think they did.
I think they might have. Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
versus Kade.
Kade versus Dante might have been the match.
or I think it was Ty versus Dante, if I remember correctly.
This is back before they changed up their hair, and it was a little harder to tell.
I feel like I remember him getting a guillotine at the end of that match, if I'm remembering it correctly. I can't quite remember, but
Sounds right. That one will be coming in May. We have a little bit before that, but Ty right now the top middleweight on earth, WNO championships winner, holds the one championship belt over there. Want to see more of Ty, especially if he's not doing the MMA thing. If he's staying in jiu-jitsu for now and focusing on that, I want to see him as often as we can. I know he got some injuries, kind of cleared up and cleaned out. after CJI and everything last year, and hopefully he's back ready to go 100%.
Yeah, he is a millionaire. You can't forget that either. Could you just Google real quick for me, Slack?
Tell me.
Dante Leon versus Kade Ruotolo.
See what we got here. Maybe scroll back up.
Yeah, what was that first one? Ty submits Dante with 10 seconds left. That first one. I remember that. It was a sick match, and then right at the very end there.
I'll go back, Slack. There's a video. Just click the video.
Where?
Go back
on the Google results page.
This one?
Yeah, that first one.
First video. That's a FloGrappling.
Yeah, there you go. You can go. Yep, go to the very end there. 10 seconds left in the match.
This is September 2021. So it's been a minute here.
Yeah, I feel like Ty's gotten a lot bigger since, and I feel like he's gonna have a big size advantage. But here,
I mean, is that going to matter against Dante?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True. But here, he's the smaller guy. Dante looks bigger than him here.
Yeah, this is whenever Ty and Kade were kind of both like flirting with either 155 or 170, right? Like,
yeah.
This is the one Kade went 155, Ty went 170.
And Ty fought Mika in the finals here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just 10 seconds left in the match. So
it'll be a really interesting one. I think both guys have leveled up. Obviously, Dante has become, he's changed teams since then as well. He's represented GF team at this point. He, since he's made the move over to Pedigo, I feel like his leg attacks have become way, way stronger since then. And just his overall game. And then obviously Ty is way, way better. And here he's hitting kind of this is a sidearm triangle.
Yeah.
It's not quite a guillotine, but this is still so early on that we were calling it still kind of a guillotine. But there's that side katagatame that
it is sick how he sets it
like
up.
Tynan used at WNO, for example. Yep, sticks that left knee in like he's taking the back, but then he wraps around the head. Boom, falls off the side. Gonna get the finish there.
It's like any way you can get an arm in strangle, those guys are doing it.
100%. If there's an arm triangle variation to be found in the scramble, these guys have it.
Yeah. So that was a sick match back in the day.
Entry.
Would you say 2021?
That would have been September 2021.
September 2021.
When Who's Number One Championships was, yeah.
So we'll see 4 years later here.
That's kind of crazy, dude. 4 years later, running it back. I'm sure that's probably still fresh in his mind. He probably wants that lick back for sure.
So that should be definitely a good match. Like you said, I think Dante has improved quite a bit, and Ty seems like a completely new grappler. So
There's
a good one.
Talking about like jiu-jitsu and MMA right now. Obviously, there's Cody Steele, who's now in the UFC and everything. Ended up losing his UFC debut, but in
great match,
Fight of the night.
incredible fashion.
Great fight. Did the pointing at the Max Holloway pointing at the ground, and then just let it fly.
For sure. Are you guys hip to Jackson Glass at all?
Yeah.
Austin kid?
Yeah.
Dude, he just had a fight this weekend as well. I think I think it went to decision. Dude, he fights a lot, to be honest. Like
Wow.
I don't even know what he would be considered.
He has a Muay Thai background.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I don't know what he'd be considered for sure, because he's like a jiu-jitsu guy also, but maybe more. Oh, our producer fights with Jackson Glass at Ambush. Do
That's
you win?
right.
Nikki,
Yeah,
the producer, do you beat him? He said no.
Said no.
And
He said no with a big laugh.
Yeah.
How old is he these days? It's been a minute since I've seen him, but
I don't even know. He seems incredibly young still.
Yeah,
17.
Is he literally
probably.
17, Nikki?
Yeah, he's 17. And I think it was in like Fury or something. He just had a
think it was
fight.
Fury, yeah.
Just
what a
won by
beast!
decision.
That's
yeah.
so sick.
Yeah, he's an absolute
That dude's
animal.
gonna be a killer.
Yeah, he's like I guess like maybe he has a Muay Thai background, maybe jiu-jitsu, but like really I feel like
Fight Factory.
I was gonna say Jackson is kind of like a product of the modern age, just like MMA background. Like these kids who come up as like, it's just like MMA from day one with that sole intention. And that dude, imagine like being at the lunch table and just like making a joke, trying to bully Jackson Glass or something. And he's just like, okay, like I'm fighting professionally.
What do you want me to take you down or take your head off?
How do you want me to do this? But yeah, I just wanted to shout out Jackson Glass. I feel like he's one of the coolest young representatives of not just like, martial arts and everything, but also the Austin scene specifically. Kind of always see him around and everything. So.
Yeah, every time we go to Fight Factory, he's always there mixing up with the tackets, and even when Cody was kind of like splitting his time, I always used to see him sparring with Cody and everything in the room. So
I feel like him and Cody were like main training partners. Maybe click that second clip. Is this a B team clip? Let's see. I'm sure he has some crazy scramble or something. You think they do the high kick to? This is Damian and
Damian wearing gloves? No, Damian's not wearing gloves in this one.
Heal up soon to Damian, by the way. Saw you had to pull out of an upcoming fight that was coming up in a few weeks. Get well soon to Demon Hands.
Look at this crazy screen. This is so nuts.
Some classic jiu-jitsu scrambles right
They
here.
have like a aha take on me filter on top of this as well.
Yeah, he's a beast.
But yeah, shout out Jackson Glass. I mean, also Damien, one of the best representatives of a lot of dudes currently. It seems going into MMA.
Yeah, making that switch. Guess it's getting a little easier for grapplers these days to make that switch,
For sure.
especially just because a lot of these guys are training striking a lot of the time.
This is just never ending.
They just keep going, huh?
Forever. Only dudes who've been doing jits since they were kids move like that, said Jet Setters 22. It's kind of true. Unless you're a freak beast like me, dude. Come on.
Big dogs only.
Yeah, big dogs only. Shout out the shirt right there. Shout out my boy Big Pep. Big dogs only.
Get it with the yeah. Oof, oof. The dogs are barking
You guys like that?
in the FloGrappling studio.
Yeah. All right, let's look at some of the Austin the results from the Austin Open here. So I think it was Roberto who ended up with double gold. Maybe Guy
Twice.
and
I
no
think
Guy.
twice, yeah. I think he went
did it
quadruple
twice.
gold.
Roberto's on a heater, dude. That guy's just kind of cooking. But
And super active, which I really like to see. I feel like sometimes we see Roberto kind of like go off into the mountains and we just don't see him for a little while. So
Yeah,
whenever we are seeing him a lot, it's important to take some time to appreciate that this dude rules, and it rules to watch him. He is one of those guys that is the most fun to watch in the sport.
yeah, I think he ended up fighting Declan in the absolute final.
Yeah, this is actually a Declan match here, but I
Yeah.
could just pull.
No, it's okay. I was going to set this up as just saying, like, Declan also going out there and showing out and everything.
Absolutely.
A really fun dude to watch. Declan, one of my favorite grapplers, mainly because he's just a really nice dude also. But I think, is this in his weight division or the absolute?
So I think the
Either
absolute
way.
was only 3 guys. It was Roberto, Declan, and Joao Asanidas.
Gotcha.
Asanidas. So I believe this is still in his weight class. Where if this is the one that he won, I believe this is him against Igor Schneider, who does rep Lotus. So that would make sense. Yeah, Declan really does have such elite guard passing. So heavy on top, so tough on top. Here in the ultra heavyweight division, putting the stank on it. Ended up with double silver, as is the classic B team.
The way, yeah.
The way.
Yeah, I'm so out here just up the street from us in Round Rock, right? Yeah,
Yep.
we've done this one a bunch.
Yeah, the Austin Open, dude, getting tough out there.
Looking how much time he's got left. Oh, okay, he doesn't get the submission there. I thought he did get the submission. Ran out of time.
Tried to open it up, tried to make it happen, but Declan always the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then obviously here's the final between Roberto and Declan. Roberto starting it out with the classic handshake like this.
The classic
refuses
Roberto.
to grab your hand directly. If you guys ever meet Roberto, I'm sure you'll feel that.
I think he said last time I saw him, you either get the fist bump or you get the forearm.
Yeah. He said that.
You're out there and you meet him.
I've started thinking
Find out
about
which one you get.
I've thought about trying to reverse Roberto, and because he'll always go a little extra to get the forearm, I've thought about pulling back and trying to get his hand, see if I can catch him in one.
That'd be the ultimate ninja
Yeah,
move.
might throw him off big time.
Roberto really has found his niche as the guy who is good being the smaller guy against bigger guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like he's better there almost than he is against guys his own size. He just always seems to shine in these absolute brackets. He always seems to shine when he's facing somebody that he has no right to beat.
What did he weigh in at the Who's Number One?
Like 190 pounds.
190?
I think he was 186.5.
There you go.
Yeah.
You think he likes to be the faster guy?
Yeah, I think
So,
that's a big
yeah.
part of it.
Big part of his strategy, I guess.
Because even back in purple belt and brown belt and stuff, like he always would go after the big guys. He
Always an absolute
fought.
killer.
Yeah. He always fought Roosevelt. Who's much bigger than him, and he fought Bomb at purple belt there. I remember, and Mason Fowler and stuff. So
Roberto is just, I mean, I guess maybe that's part of his thinking with being the lighter guy. He's more flexible, he's faster, and you can just find the back easier. I'm not sure. Maybe that would be why, because this
Fast
dude
tank.
he just finds the back from anywhere. You saw him with the near back take there. Kind of a wild reset. It seemed like he was on the back, but guess it didn't count. But, knowing Roberto, he'll find the back again. So,
that's his MO. Good crowd here at the Austin Open. Everybody tuned in to the big match.
yeah, this would have been after a long couple days, too, the end of day 2.
Where's he training? He's training at Unity?
I think that's one of his main places, but also
I think he's mostly just drilling with his brother.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm about to sneeze.
As we know, it's a bit of a cheat code there when you got a brother who can train with you.
Yeah, definitely. Declan almost takes his back in this as well, right?
Yeah. So a lot of stand up here.
Classic. I'm gonna skip ahead some. Or
Oh yeah, this is where he almost takes his back.
I mean, that was pretty sick.
Yeah, Declan's still so technical.
But Roberto not only is super good at taking the back,
Arm drag with the trip.
also just super good at defending the back. Oh, he almost gets it, and he gets this crucifix position.
Roberto just, yeah.
But Roberto
Spins
got him
out
right
of
where he
it.
wants him.
Little look back, like he's just trying to make sure real quick.
Yeah.
No points.
Like he was all guilty.
Does he take the back off of this, or should we skip ahead?
Forget exactly. Oh yeah, he mounts him. That's right.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
Just pushes that knee through. Like that's.
Oh yeah, that was that Kynan style pass that he was
I was
hitting on
saying, I was
everything.
enjoying watching his passing just now. Just cutting a lot of angles there.
What does Declan weigh? Probably like 220.
I mean, he won or he competed at ultra heavyweight
That's right.
for this tournament, so got to be 230, 235.
That's nuts. It's a big old boy.
The big old boy is going to pass the arm off. He's looking Ruotolo teen right there.
Mm-hmm. I think he finishes it.
Yeah, that's quick. All the rage, man.
Got him. Boom. Crazy. What a finish.
That Ruotolo team is really coming.
Let's take a look at that again and
Very
just how quick that
respectful
is.
finish, by the way. Shout out to both of these guys.
Yeah, because Declan, like, it was like a quick
Could've fake
tap. He
tapped.
could have.
Ref didn't have a good angle on it.
Just, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
He could have hit him with a no. What are you talking about? I didn't tap.
Yeah. No, it wasn't me.
It was somebody else.
Nah,
Yeah,
Declan's too good of a dude to do that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super solid.
So absolute final right there. There's the absolute champion.
What do you guys think of the Ruotolo team? You hitting it at all? You into
I
it?
haven't been hitting it. I haven't found the angle on it yet. I haven't found the groove.
Me neither. Yeah.
Struggle with all those. They've never been a
Really?
part of my game. Yeah.
Yeah. I hit it a decent amount, but long arm boy, you know?
Yeah. I guess I should try hitting it more for
I will
sure.
say though, like when it comes to, I feel good about head and arm choke, but then once it gets into like the Darce territory, I just feel like I never quite have the right angle. But I remember one time I was training on the East Coast. I was training with Igor Gracie, and he was teaching like a Darce, and he showed it in a way where I could perfectly do it. And I explained this to him, and he was just like, "It's 100% angle. Like everybody can do like these like style." Arm triangle chokes, but you have to have the angle, and like, don't let anybody tell you it can't be a part of your game. You just have to like, that's all jiu-jitsu, I guess. But like, I still struggle with it. So I got to go, shout out to Igor Gracie. I got to go hit him up again, learn how to do it again.
That's like the classic response to like, say you're like drilling with a white belt or anything, just anybody who's like, oh no, I just can't move like that. Like I feel like my brother hits me with that a lot now. He's trying to get into it, and there's like just tons of stuff he can't do, which like, yeah, you have to develop some flexibility, but just the answer is always like, no, you're just bad at creating angles. Like it's not that you can't do that, like play that guard, whatever. It's just you haven't figured out how to get the angle yet. But the Ruotolo team's sick. One thing I feel like I learned from the Ruotolos at their seminar, me and Reed went to one of their seminars, and this ties into like all that stuff, like arm triangles and everything. For one, I think arm triangles are good when you do have shorter arms because it's just like tighter. There's less room, like less space. But even like for them, they were talking about how like they have crazy long arms, and you can shoot a Darce all the way through and like lock it, but then you have all this crazy space. So you actually have to take the space back away if you have long arms. So I don't know. There's some advantage if you can get the angles and lock up submissions like that. Having shorter arms just does mean it will be tighter if you lock it and everything. So
Jiu-jitsu's for everybody.
100%. I'm trying to think of like who would not be. If you could touch your own elbow, you can do a Darce. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty. It's body mechanic everybody can get to.
True that.
Yeah, but when somebody's resisting, like you do need to like really be able to feel the angle and like stack everything up, in the right order. And I don't know.
Definitely. But I do love the Ruotolo team. I like going into the arm triangle. I don't finish a ton of arm triangles, to be honest, but I'll just like kind of sit there and wait for the person to turn away and then just lock up the Ruotolo team, especially if you throw that other arm in and you can just kind of like force their head over your arm, and it's just kind of like super gnarly. I like hitting it on Ray, if I'm being honest.
Let's go around and say what our favorite movies to hit on Ray are.
Yeah, I like throwing Ray some
boy.
strays. I don't even know if he's been listening because he hasn't walked over and been like, dude, what? Stop bringing me up on the podcast, dude.
We're gonna get Ray in here one day.
Yeah.
Every time I roll with Ray, I'm always like super like chill with him. Like I never go hard. Like always just kind of playing around. But every time I ask him to roll, he's like, oh no, man, oh come on, I gotta go joke.
He does that to me, and then he tries to murder me.
Yeah, no, and then
You guys got a weird dynamic going.
I'm
to
like,
be
it doesn't have to be like that. I don't know.
But you also never stop moving, so Ray counts that as
Yes.
you're going hard on him.
I think that's funny because to me, I'm like, it's funny. I encounter this a lot as someone who does like to move a lot in sparring. Is some people take movement as aggression. I'm like,
Well, just making me work hard and breathe
Right, but I'm
hard.
like, I'm not necessarily being aggressive just because I'm moving a lot or very quickly. But yeah, Ray definitely takes
I
that
think-
as an insult and like brings
Yeah.
it to me afterwards. I'm like,
As a guy who has rolled with you and is not necessarily an aggressive jiu-jitsu guy, but like I don't like moving a lot. I think aggression is the way to mitigate movement. So you might be taking it as aggression, but really it's like, all right, if this guy's going to move a ton, as soon as I get a dominant position, I'm going to pin him hard. Like I'm going to full pressure, hard grips. So it's like this guy will quit moving for a little bit so I can like breathe. And I think that's what's going on with you and Ray.
Yeah, that's
it's
what
a pretty funny little like side battle
Yeah.
going on inside the Flow universe. It's just Slack
he-
and Ray just
yeah.
not head to head about.
I guess he's like, I gotta rip this submission if I'm gonna get him to stop.
Yeah.
Straight up, also, nobody wants to be the worst blue belt at FloGrappling. You know what I mean? Like,
Good
there's
point.
a little bit of
Nobody has to worry about
hierarchy.
it. I'm holding that down, Jeff.
But yeah, that's a little bit of a roundup from some of the stuff we saw this weekend. You know, if you guys were watching some jiu-jitsu at home and we missed it, let us know kind of the stuff you were watching, what you were checking out. But let's look ahead at the Flow Grappling event schedule here because we do have a bunch of stuff coming up. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything. I think the most notable things I'll call off from the rip is obviously the Pan Championship is going to be going down March 18th through the 24th or the 23rd.
24th.
23rd, yeah.
Oh, got mixed ones. 23rd?
Sunday the 23rd is the
Okay.
last day.
Got it.
Gotcha. So obviously that'll be a big one. But then also right before that is going to be BJJ Stars 15, which should be going down April 24th. So, or 26th, April 26th.
So that's right before Brasileiros.
Right before
Brasileiros.
Brasileiros. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, yeah. So April 26th, BJJ Stars 15. Then that's also the first day of the IBJJF Brasileiros. And then later, March
Don't have it on there.
March
but
18th.
we're gonna get it on there.
It's tough.
March is before April, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at March 1st.
Yeah, we're tripping.
Yeah.
But anyways,
So we also got Finishers Survivor Series on there, main character jiu-jitsu. That one's shaping up to be a crazy one as
A lot
well.
of super fight cards this month.
Yeah.
A lot of super fight cards.
yeah.
Spokane
Characters,
submission series.
Spokane, a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, so this Spokane submission series, this one kind of popped up. This is our first event with Spokane. What is that?
I said finishers too. I didn't want to leave them out.
Gotcha.
Sorry, Spokane.
Reed already said finishers. The Spokane submission series, this is our first time with the Spokane submission series on Flow Grappling, and they're doing it in a pit, right? This is going to be the first ever event on Flow Grappling that's going down in a pit. You know, like the general stuff about this card, Joe? What's this card going to be?
Sure, this is a lot of big names from that Pacific Northwest area. This is the first Flow Grappling event in a pit, which I think is really cool. I've been waiting to see this, as debuted at CJI. I believe they're using CJI rules throughout the entire card. This was originally supposed to be headlined with Pat Downey taking on Duran Wynn. Is now Duran Wynn taking on Phil Hawes, a couple UFC veterans in the main event. I think it's cool to see a couple UFC veterans, former college wrestlers in the pit. What are two like wrestling kind of minds, wrestling experts gonna come up with when they have this pit situation? How's that gonna look? I think that's gonna be really interesting. And then there's just a bunch of kind of cool names throughout the card. Rana Willink, who's just on WNO, is going to be on this card, just a little bit lower on there. Jaime Fragoso, a lot of...
Was Paige Yvette going too, or is that a mistake?
I think she might have been at one
She
point.
said something about it, but
Yeah, she's probably just like supporting like some of her teammates like Rana who are on the card and has been like pumping it up.
Is this card all super fights, or is there a bracket or anything, or just?
I think it's just all super fights,
super
all the way
fights?
through. Yeah.
Okay, nice. All right, so got that one. Got finishers, obviously. We were talking to Zach Maslany after last WNO. He was kind of talking about the old finishers archives and stuff, breaking down some of the kind of like dudes who are now guys and girls who are now like major staples in sport jiu-jitsu who have kind of came through finishers. So finishers really is like a pipeline to like whenever you're on that like local scene, the regional circuit, you know, it's almost like if you're a pro wrestler and you're down in freaking Memphis on the local circuit trying to make a name for yourself, then you kind of graduate up to bigger stuff. Finishers really is one of the main places that so many elite people have gone through, including like Gordon, John Blank, all those guys. Nicky Rod. Max Hansen he was holding down finishers for a long time.
Renee, obviously, as well.
Renee. So definitely it's a fun event to check out and to see kind of some of these up and coming grapplers that maybe you don't know yet, maybe you know a little bit about, but just get more exposure to them and watch them become a fan of some of these guys early on in their career.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say that we were talking to Zach Meslani, and he recommended some books for us. Obviously, this is kind of Greg Souders stuff that he's been hawking and whatnot. So I definitely, we picked up these books here to talk a little bit more about the ecological approach. Haven't read them yet, just came in, but hopefully maybe in the future we can get...
We're actually trying to learn how to read ecologically before we get into
I was going to say, did those come with like an audiobook download or anything?
I don't think so, but I think we're just going to have to go word by word here and try to
give us a paragraph.
Figure
Flip
it
to
out.
a random page, give us a paragraph.
Give us a word. Give us a random word of the...
Okay, well, this is in my baseball batting study. There was a considerable variability in the timing of the landing of the batter's front foot that increased after training. In the tennis studies we've been looking at in the last few chapters, experienced players have considerable variability in how much they flexed their knee in the location of the racquetball contact. So, makes sense. So there you go. You know,
I know.
So that's how we're kind of. We're gonna dive into this stuff a little bit deeper here, but that's a little taste for you. Trying to find a good word for you, Joe, but
it's all good. We can take knee.
Let me see the other one. I'll read a paragraph out of
learning to be an ecological coach. We're working on it.
Developing attuned and adaptable coaching skills. So, I mean, yeah, obviously ecological stuff is all the rage right now. And I think this is where a lot of it stems from, right? These Rob Gray books is where the actual principles of ecological.
There's so much talk about this ecological stuff these days. So I really feel like we needed to dive in and really kind of get the source material so I can really wrap my head around this ecological stuff from the source, from Rob Gray.
Let's go.
Maybe we should talk to Greg Saunders here as well.
Yeah, we got to get him on eventually. I'm scared as of now. I don't know enough to talk to him yet.
Exactly. That's why I want to read the books first so I can be educated when I talk to him. Yeah. And then...
Here's a good chapter.
I'm good, dude. Books are dumb.
Here we go.
Y'all have fun with that shit.
One of the main challenges that can occur for a new learner, especially one who is younger and less physically developed, is that the movement solution needed to produce a basic level of proficiency is beyond their action boundary. What do you guys think about that? Key takeaways from that?
Before you're able to do moves, you must be able to do movements.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess we're going all in on ecological. This might become an ecological podcast.
Yeah, so we're working on it. We'll get there. If you guys have any pointers, any more books that we should read, let us know. We're still working our way through here, through this one as well. Choke. So
checking the Grappler's Diary pretty often. You guys didn't know, but this is a book club. All right. If you thought this was just your regular average jiu-jitsu podcast, you're wrong. Okay. Au contraire. This is a book club. So make sure you go pick up all these books we're reading, read alongside us. I'm reading a book right now called A Prayer Before Dawn. It's about Billy Moore's story, going to prison in Thailand. There's a movie about it also. That's pretty sick. We just watched that. Now I'm recommending it to everybody, but now I'm reading the book. The book's insane, to be honest. Way crazy.
The movie's insane too.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's way crazier than the movie.
Well, it's just like in the movie, he like goes to prison, and it just kind of is like a single track thing where he's like struggling with being in this Thailand prison, starts fighting Muay Thai, and it kind of is like, okay, Muay Thai helps him get through this prison stint. In the book, he's like shuffled around prisons. He's like goes to the hospital for surgeries multiple times, comes back like the day after a surgery. He has just like a valve thing in his chest that's like helping get rid of extra blood. And they're like, actually, the bus is here. You have to go back, and we're taking you to a different prison now. So he's like in the good prison. Then they take him and just drop him off at a random, different, really bad prison. And it's just like, I don't know. It was a lot crazier of a process than the movie might entail. But yeah, check out A Prayer Before Dawn if you want to see that super, super epic movie, to be honest. But I'm reading the book now. So if you guys want in on the FloGrappling Show book club, we're reading A Prayer Before Dawn, A Grappler's Diary, Choke, Learning to be an Ecological Coach, and How We Learn to Move. Those are all the books we're currently reading. But yeah, there's the Prayer Before Dawn poster and everything.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Super good one.
Stay out of the Thai prisons. That's what I learned.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. Don't do heroin and go to prison in Thailand is a main takeaway. What else did we have coming up on the schedule though, Slack? Do we have anything else notable we should
Let's take a look at the PANS registration. Who's in PANS?
Let's do it. Let's look at PANS registration.
Thus far, obviously, not complete registration. There's still a bunch of guys who I think we're waiting on are going to jump in there. But at the very least, we can take a look at who's in there now.
Go up to that light feather division, right above this. The Shoya Ishiguro, is this the guy who fought Baby Shark in the finals at Euros? This dude's pretty exciting for sure, So
He's going to rematch Baby Shark at one championship.
oh, is he really?
Yeah, they just announced that today.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. Crazy one.
Nogi?
No-gi, yep.
Cool.
He's also top 10 in the world no-gi. He's quite successful no-gi at 135 pounds as well.
Yeah, got Zach Kine in that division as well. A lot of AOJ guys.
Speaking of no-gi guys, Everton Tashira, number one no-gi 125-pounder, hopping into the gi, going to be at PANS. Excited to see how he does.
Nice. Got Cole Abate registered, obviously. It seems like Cole is kind of on a mission this year. Sam Nagai in there now. So, yeah, definitely
We just saw that one at the Austin Open, and I believe Cole got the win, but it was a close match.
2-point match.
Two-point match. And it was kind of like a similar situation there of Kennedy and Cole, where like at the very end, the guy was hunting the back on Cole and didn't get the hooks or anything like that and got the win.
Man, we've seen that a few times. I remember Gabriel Souza against Baby Shark was an example of that. Or maybe it was Gabriel Souza and Diego Pato's like 2024 Worlds maybe. It was a super close one. Somebody I wanted to shout out from the featherweight division, by the way. There was an AJP over the weekend. Belgium's Florian Bailly beat Kennedy Maciel, which is obviously a super big win for him. There's a guy who keeps picking up like pretty solid wins. I don't think he's like top 5 in the world yet, at least. But there's a dude who I think deserves to be on the radar at least a little bit. Does keep being super competitive with the top guys and is starting to now once in a while pick off some of these wins. He's representing Fratris. Trains around at a couple different places. I know still trains a lot in his native Belgium, but kind of cool to see somebody from a country that we're not talking about all the time coming out here having world level success.
Which event was that?
AJP Rome.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And I see on there is Jansen's brother, Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan.
I don't see him too often.
Eduardo Granzado in the mix. Dudu.
Obviously, Cole Abate.
Yeah, Cole Abate.
Brian Mahecha as well. Having a good year, to be honest, too.
Yeah, definitely some fun names in the mix there. Marco Mendez, also cool.
For sure. Minhoo Yoon picked up some nice wins at Euros. At lightweight, Jackson Nagai, throwing his name back in the ring. World champion.
World
champion here last year. Lightweight, coming back to defend that crown. And I think that he's going to have some really tough tests here. I think in this weight class, am I right? Yeah. Hobinho is going to be in the way. Hobinho coming off of a no-gi world championship, so we're going to have a gi world champion taking on a no-gi world champion here at the Pan Championships. I think that's going to be an awesome fight if these two hit.
Yeah, there's some good names in a lot of these. Jackson Nagai, Hobinho, Pedro Mayo, Natan Chuang.
There you go.
Some sick ones. Who we got at middle?
Middle starts for me. I'm probably most interested to see Wallison Souza. He's the guy who just won no-gi worlds from Atos. Trains a lot with Hulk up in the Pacific Northwest, I think. And
Cool to get up there.
He looked really awesome in Nogi Worlds, right? They're starting to become some real talent out there. Maria Rafato is another example who I think might be entered as well in this tournament. But Francisco Lowe is also in the mix. Hopefully his body can hold up. I feel like every time we see him, he's just so bandaged up and, just trying to hold it all together. But those are two of the biggest ones. That Joao Menezes guy, that's the guy who beat at Nogi Pans. He won Nogi Pans. He beat Chaz in the finals.
Oh,
and he looked really good there.
And obviously, this middleweight division is kind of Tynan's division,
yeah,
right?
People are waiting on Tynan.
So we're waiting on Tynan to go in there, see if he's going to do pans or not. But we would love to see the rematch between Francisco Lowe and Tynan.
There you go.
This, I would think we're going to see Andy also enter at some point. Andy Murasaki, I don't know where he'll go.
Does he do lightweight? Does he even go up to medium heavy, or does he?
He's kind of bounced around all of those. Who we got at medium heavy? Lucas Lira, Dory, Shane Fishman, dude. This one's kind of sick.
Rui Neto at AJP won AJP and beat Anderson Ferreira, so he's got a lot of momentum. AJP, you can get some weirder results because it's only a 5-minute match. The longer the match, the more data, the more chance there is that the better person overall win. There's less upsets at least. Yeah, but really looked really good there and picked up a really big win over Wanderson.
Nice. And then heavyweight, obviously Adam Wardzinski in the mix. Who else we got in
The
here?
reigning world
Gaudio.
champion. Yeah, Gaudio back in that. That's a good match. Adam versus Gaudio.
Big time. That was a guy that Adam didn't end up facing on his big run, this big run that he's had. Gaudio, I've been seeing him in the gym training. He's now full-time with New Wave. And so that's kind of interesting in two ways. One, changing the teams. How's that going to affect him? We've seen John be really good with some gi guys. For example, Marigali at Pans a few years ago was just awesome. But at the same time, what are his training partners? You know what I mean? Like, is rolling with Helena Cravar every day enough? You know what I mean? Is David Cesare putting on the gi enough times for Gaudio to be getting that elite training? And I think when you show up to a tournament as tough as Pants, that's going to matter a lot.
Definitely.
But he is still repping GF team there, I guess. So
Still signed up for GFT.
I don't think New Wave has a
okay.
IBJJF name, so you'll kind of see those guys all over.
True,
Like, I think
that's
Luke's
right.
still like Gracie Baja or something. I don't know
Davis is definitely still some like Oxy. I
Oxy.
think,
Yeah. Austin Arande going up to super heavy. This guy's getting big bodied in Texas, eating that Texas barbecue, coming in big
yeah,
strong.
all that brisket.
He's trying to do the Roberto thing, be the little quick guy. We got a couple guys actually, because Luna at ultra heavy as well. He's not 200 pounds, and he's entering into the ultra heavy class. We see guys take this tact every once in a while where they say, I'm just going to basically take the absolute twice. You know what I mean? I'm going to enter the absolute, then I'm going to enter the biggest weight class I can find. And it can be a little strategic. It can be a little bit of pride and just want to test yourself at one of these big events and just kind of a cool thing to say you did. So I'm excited to see how these guys do.
Yeah, Helder Jose here at Ultra as well.
For sure. Lucas Montalvo, who just won a No-Gi World title as well. Mm-hmm. A lot of No-Gi World champions putting the gi back on for this event specifically.
All right, who we got in these women's divisions? We got Yasmin Castro in the Rooster. She just got silver at IBJJF Europeans. Jessica Carolina.
To Tice, who took gold there and also has been on a really hot run of her own. Won No-Gi Pans, won Euros with a crazy little footlock there. Tice has been looking awesome. Nutrition coach, I think. So
Oh, shit. Tubby in the mix at light feather. Amanda
Jessica
Alekin.
Crane.
Jessica Crane. Tynora Victoria.
Jessie Crane, if she makes it, she did have surgery on a broken orbital,
Really?
or something like that
brutal.
recently. So I hope she's okay. Jesse, I hope you're okay.
doing
But love to
striking?
see her in the mix.
She doing striking too?
Yeah, something. Feather Victoria Cease is in the mix. She took silver at Euros and looked pretty good there. Beat Cassia Mora in the semifinals in a super, super close bout. Good lasso guard, really tough to pass, really strategic competitor. But I think Alex Enriquez is probably the most interesting name that's currently entered there. Alex, usually no-gi person, usually no-gi girl, who comes out, great wrestler, great top game. But training at Atos Atlanta, I have a good feeling that she's going to come in super prepared under Bruno Frizzato.
Then at the lightweight, some good names here as well. Amanda Bruce, Jane Fragoso. My American mouth, it can't do the
Can't
subtle
comprehend it.
sounds of a. Who else we got?
Stephanie Delphine Fayor. My American mouth cannot get that one right. But
Yeah.
very good French black belt, also a judo black belt. Made the finals in Euros. Has really been coming on very strong. I think even medaled at Gi Worlds last year. Has really started to develop into a world-class jiu-jitsu black belt, and I think is going to be probably on the podium here, or at least super in contention for that.
And April Parks. I can say that. So
Yeah, give us something right over the plate.
Yeah.
Liz Clay, perfect.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, this middleweight division: Liz Clay, Vanessa Griffin, Larissa Martins, Nikki Lloyd Griffith. Kennedy Franklin. Some sick names in there.
Daisy, I always love watching Daisy fight. Daisy's so aggressive. She comes out and just sprints at the other girl to try to tap her out. And it's just always like 3 or 4 minutes of just like very constant submission attacks. Doesn't always win, but she's always really fun to watch at least.
And then in the women's medium heavy, I can say Polish names. So Maria Mawiasek and Elizabeth Mitrovic.
Nikki, are we getting that right? Maria Mala.
No way.
Mawiasek.
No way that's right.
That's how she told me one time.
Oh, okay. Damn.
I'm right. Yep.
Okay.
Boom.
Gave us
Our
the-
Polish producer.
yeah,
All right, what do I know?
I remember it was Pans 2021. Maria Mawiasek won, and I was trying to interview her, and I think it was either Chase or Hal were like, "This is how you say her name," and I said it however they told me, and she was like, "This is not my name," and I was like, "Ah, great. Well, way to go, Chase or Hal." And then she sat there and she was like, "It's Mawiasek," and I would go like, Maliasek, and she'd be like, no, Maliasek. So the interview starts with just me and her going back and forth for like a good minute and a half.
That made the cut.
Yeah, I left it in. Me just rocking, just really locking in on Maria Maliasek. So yeah, I got that one. Nia Blackman also in the mix. That's a really cool one. European grappler there.
Yep.
Sala Samola. Yep. And then heavy, there's Maria Rufato. You brought her up earlier. Annabelle Lopez Beard. She's also a European grappler. I believe Spanish, right?
Yeah, she reps Spain, but she's also like kind of from the UK.
Yeah. Checkmate Fight Zone London. So that'd be like the same gym as Nia Blackman.
I think so.
I don't know if Nia still trains there, but I think she's from Checkmate Fight Zone London.
Yeah, and Annabelle's a killer. I think only 20 years old, already a Nogi world champion. 19 years old, if I'm wrong. She is a dynamo, you know what I mean? She looked great at Nogi Worlds, beat Paige Yvette in the finals, and I think is, really prepared to break out. She's still a little new to this upper level and is still gaining some experience, but she's obviously having a lot of success already. So I think that just speaks very highly of what her ceiling could be.
And then Gabby Pisania, the lone entrant there for
this
women's super heavyweight.
I was going to say, yeah, and then at the end of the list, you know who it is.
Yeah, Gabby Pisania. But, all right, you guys want to let's do a quick Grand Slam watch.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like that's one of the biggest kind of like storylines of Pans, to be honest, right? Is who's kind of gunning for the Grand Slam, who's still alive in the Grand Slam. It usually, these days it feels like it does happen kind of like once or twice per year here. So, and we've got 5 or 6 athletes, I think, that are gunning for that Grand Slam.
Yeah, I think so. Getting the Grand Slam is an incredible feat in jiu-jitsu, a nearly impossible thing to pull off, Gabby Pisania has kind of made it her bread and butter. Maisa Bastos, as well, just kind of are able to just knock out Grand Slams. But really, when you look at it, there's only a few people every year, a couple people every year who even have the potential to do it, let alone actually succeed with it. Like in 2024, it was kind of about Mika Galvao in the men's division. Mika Galvao and Kennedy Masael were both on this path to try and Grand Slam. Mika ended up pulling it off, youngest ever Grand Slam champion. Then went on to go ahead and win ADCC, become the only person to do that besides Cobrinha, Kennedy's father. But Kennedy ended up losing at Worlds. So it was that's how crazy it is. Kennedy just did everything right all year.
Podium.
Yeah. And then boom, all these names came flooding in. It was almost like at a certain point when there's a Grand Slam watch, everyone's I'm sure there's a bunch of back channels going, people hitting the WhatsApp group and be like, dude, everybody enter this division. We can't let this dude Grand Slam. It feels like that because those entrants just keep flying in. So who do we currently have on a Grand Slam watch? I would say the number one that comes to mind for me right now, mainly because I feel like he's expressed interest in wanting to achieve this, is Tynan Dalpra. It feels like Tynan came out to Euros. We don't always see Tynan at Euros, but we didn't see him in 2024 at Euros. But this year it was kind of a clear, he was like, I'm in, and I'm potentially wanting to Grand Slam this year. I want the bright lights on me. I want the attention for the Grand Slam.
And just so we're clear too, and kind of why it's so difficult is you literally have to travel all over the world to do this. So obviously you have to go win Euros in Lisbon, then you have to go to the East Coast, win Pans in Florida, then you have to go to Brazil in Sao Paulo, win Brasileiros, and then go to the West Coast in Long Beach at the World Championships and win that one. So it's 4 tournaments literally all over the world. So even just getting to these tournaments is sometimes a hurdle for people to get over, and then you have to win all these. So obviously, it's a tough thing to do. But Tynan has I think publicly stated that he wants to do it and do the whole thing. We saw him out there at the European Championships. He looked incredible out there. He's not signed up here at Pans yet, but hopefully any day now he'll be sliding in there.
I feel like AOJ always they like to fly in late to these registrations and stuff, Just when you think it's closed, oh, wait a minute. Here's some more AOJ names in the mix and everything.
If he doesn't sign up, it's because he cannot go.
Yeah,
I mean? I think it's going to be one of those kind of situations.
And so that makes this Pans really interesting because you could possibly see him versus Francisco Lowe, who was the last guy to beat him was it the last guy to beat him? Yeah, last guy to beat him at the World Championships. Kind of controversial, crazy match there that happened. So we're all gunning for that rematch for sure. But another guy I think who's out on the list obviously is Baby Shark. Baby Shark seems like he's really committed to doing the Grand Slam as well. One of the most elite competitors, regardless of weight class these days, is Baby Shark. So he's got a good shot to do it as well.
Big time. I feel like another thing that makes the Grand Slam so difficult is you usually end up having to face the same people over and over, and they start to get a feel for exactly what you're doing, exactly what they should be doing. I think a great example of that last year was Andy versus Mika, and how we saw, okay, the first few times they met, Mika was able to come in, storm the doors and really look so impressive, get the submission win. But by the time it came to Worlds, that was a controversial 2-point match that really kind of could have gone either way.
I feel like Mika submitted him in the finals at Euros and the finals at Pans.
And then they didn't face a Brasileiros.
They didn't face the Brasileiros, and they fought in the finals of a different weight class at Worlds.
Yep,
and much different match.
Much different match.
Yeah.
And so I think that also complicates is like, okay, if Tynan wants to Grand Slam, he might have to beat a guy as good as Andy Murasaki 3 times. That's crazy.
For sure. And that's like, it's kind of like what you're saying. You're literally flying across the entire globe, seeking out the hardest matches in all of jiu-jitsu multiple times throughout the year. You have to do it 4 times, win these bracket 4 times, come away the Grand Slam champion. It's also just a little bit of a brutal season. Now that Euros is in the bag and we're off and running with the IBJJF gi season, it kind of doesn't stop until the World Championship in like last week of May, first week of June. And so that's like, it's like this weird on and off, like in camp, few days rest, back in camp, like just nonstop now. All
God forbid you get an injury or something happens. That's
a weird little wild card with Tynan too. Is like we kind of know he's already going into this with the hand injury. Like he's showing up with like it all taped up. It's
casted. Yeah.
So it's like,
and he's also taking super fights on WNO, so that adds an entirely other thing to the.
Definitely. So it's a crazy thing to do. Like you mentioned Baby Shark. I think Diego Pato, just because, now at this point.
Just real quick, I talk about, you brought up super fights. Baby Shark has taken a super fight at BJJ Stars the week before Brasileiros.
Against Mayram.
Against Mayram, one of the top against another world champion guy. So if he wants to do this, he's going to have to take on Mayram and then turn around in probably less than a week, probably like 6 days, and take the mats at Brazilian Nationals and win a gold medal there as well. That's crazy if he does that.
And Mayram specifically, it's like
Mayram's punishing.
Yeah, anytime you have a match with Mayram, like it's a fight. Like like you're gonna be leaving that one, a little banged up here. So
yeah, so I think that is absolutely a big danger to Baby Shark's Grand Slam campaign. That'll be probably tougher than anybody who fights at Brasileiros. Not necessarily. Obviously, we haven't seen any registrations or anything. But to do that after taking on Mayram is absolutely wild.
For sure. And so Diego Pato, he did win Europeans this year, so he could Grand Slam. We haven't seen him enter Pans yet. So, that's a light watch. That's like a yellow warning, potential. Yeah. Who else is kind of on that current track? Maisa Bastos, right? She won.
Maisa Bastos, and then of course Adam Wardzinski is kind of gunning for that. It seems like he won Worlds last year. Of course, came back, won his European title. He's never competed at Brasileiros before, never. Yeah. So if he does it, he's got to go to a new place, a crazy tournament like Brasileiros is. He'll probably, he gets a lot of love over there in Europe and at Worlds just because checkmate.
I was going to say, I bet they love him in Brazil.
Definitely. Too. Adam Wardzinski kind of transcends the like Brazilian or American thing. It's like, if you love jiu-jitsu, dude, you love Adam Wardzinski.
I don't know. If he's in a final in Brasileiros against a Brazilian, they're gonna boo him.
That's true.
They're gonna boo him.
That's facts. That's facts.
Yeah. Brasileiros is one of the few events where they actively boo everybody. Like, to be honest, like even if they just start getting bored, everyone starts just booing. Like it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, great crowd.
Isn't Adam Wardzinski? Didn't he get announced for BJJ Stars? Or
yeah, but I think he doesn't have an opponent yet.
Gotcha.
So
more of like a.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on. But also that does point to if Adam's going to be at BJJ Stars, to me, he's probably going to do Brasileiros as well. So, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, he did tell us for sure. That's like he's never competed at it. So he for sure really wants to go to Brasileiros. He was supposed to go last year. Something ended up happening. I think maybe a visa thing. So he wasn't able to go. So for sure he wants to be at Brasileiros this year. But then, of course, Gabby Pisagna, always on, Grand Slam watch till eternity, I guess. I think somebody else.
I think Janaína Maia is somebody who we should really be thinking about for a Grand Slam. She looked awesome at the European Championships. She looked awesome last year. She came to the Pan Championship. She won that. She ended up coming up short at the World Championship. She was disqualified early, facing Jane, actually. And so I think that she's on a mission this year. She has expressed interest in Grand Slamming. I think that she is one of the top athletes that I would be keeping an eye out for.
Nice. So there you guys go. There's a little Grand Slam watch for you. Let us know in the comments who you guys watching for the Grand Slam this year. Let us know who you think could potentially pull out a Grand Slam. It's a super hard thing to achieve. We don't see it that often, to be honest. So it is an incredible thing when an athlete's able to do that. So let us know. Maybe we should build some sort of game or something around the Grand Slam watch.
Little bingo card or something.
Yeah, a little jiu-jitsu bingo.
Okay.
But we kind of mentioned this as well already. BJJ Stars.
If we do a BJJ bingo thing, like next year, let's all just make like a bingo card or something. In the middle, free space, Gabby Pisania double gold.
at an event.
You saw Gabby Pisania win a double gold.
Sure. So BJJ Stars 15 is also coming up. That one's going to be April 26th. We don't have the full card announced or anything yet. Still, I think they're piecing this one together. But what has came out already that's going to be in it is pretty epic so far, to be honest. There's a middleweight Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. It's kind of like the main feature of it. And then some super fights in the mix. So one of those super fights being Mayram Makin versus Diogo Hayes. Just an unreal match, to be honest. Mayram is must-watch jiu-jitsu. Diogo is must-watch jiu-jitsu, so that one's going to be pretty insane. And then out of this 185-pound no-gi Grand Prix, a good mix here, dude. We got some Americans in the mix, some Brazilians, as always. Canadians, yep. But so far, it's Elijah Dorsey, Oliver Taza, Isaac Bayens, PJ Barch, and Jonatas Gracie. So some super exciting names in this Grand Prix. Kind of any way so far you shake that up, it's super interesting to see that bracket.
It's an 8-man bracket. So there's still a couple names to be announced, but yeah, these first 5 names, that's perfect.
Big time. So I'm kind of at. We talked about rankings a little bit last week. Jonatas has won 31 of his last 33 matches, right?
That's crazy.
And the only ones that he's lost have been outside of his weight class. At middleweight, he's been perfect. If he goes in and he wins this bracket, because number 1 right now ranked in the world would be Kade Ruotolo. He's ranked number 2. Ty, even though, he's going to go fight Dante, and we'll see how that goes. Depending on how the fight with Dante goes, and depending how this Grand Prix wins, whoever wins this Grand Prix might end up being the number 1 ranked middleweight in the world. Because it's also not a weight class with a lot of churn in it. So I think that if you need any more stakes to watch, this one may end up determining who is the actual number 1 best middleweight on the planet.
But yeah, this card's coming together for sure. Going to be super sick. Like we said, potentially Adam Wardzinski in the mix. I saw some social media rumblings about potential Michael Lange and Bruno Malfacine going to get on this card somehow.
No kidding.
I saw they were in the comments with Feppa saying, I think it was Bruno and Michael Lange both kind of commenting like, should we get on it, do a little last dance type of thing? I don't know who they would fight or what.
I was going to say, are they going to fight each other?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think it was just both of them kind of saying like, hey, we should get in the mix here. Feppa sending some little smirk emojis and stuff, teasing potential there.
Yeah, they always get a lot of the legends, the local legends on the BJJ Stars.
Yeah, I know we've talked about it before, but BJJ Stars is definitely one of the most unreal super fight gi cards. This one's got no gi as well, obviously, and I think they do more no gi, but just one of the craziest atmospheric in-person super fight cards out there. It's just, Feppa knows how to put on a good show, and they really do just have an electric environment. The crowd is so crazy in Brazil, so it's going to be fun no matter what. But you guys got any other thoughts on this one? I'm excited for it.
Yeah, PJ versus Jonatas Gracie. That's a sick
awesome.
match. Yeah, that sounds great.
I'm excited to see PJ. I feel like so often when we see PJ, he's such a big 170 that we're seeing him after a big weight cut. I'm really interested to see what PJ looks like up at 185. I feel like that might be a great weight class for him.
Can we scroll back up to this photo of PJ submitting Elijah?
Epic.
Such
Great
a crazy moment there from ADCC. And it's just like
The Junie lock.
That position there, it's such a crazy position. He doesn't even really have control of the leg or anything like that.
Just both of his legs are
on the inside.
Yeah.
Super crazy.
Black learned that one firsthand.
Yes, I did. Yeah, if you go check out the Fix My Game episode with PJ Bart, she broke down the whole thing, which was really cool.
Broke your leg?
He broke more than just my leg. Yeah.
He broke his spirit.
Broke my spirit. Yeah.
Broke
my heart.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
Broke your spirit. So.
All right. You guys want to go to fan questions?
Oh, yeah.
We got questions.
Is there anything else we were supposed to cover, or that's just the last segment?
Yeah.
All right. So we sent out the signal on our social media, and we asked everybody to submit some fan questions. We got a few we're going to cover here. The first one, we're going to talk about is from Ian Bolliard. He said, who's going to be the standout athlete in the Spokane submission series?
I think Ian helps. I think he's involved.
I think he's a videographer for him. Yeah. All right. So who you guys think? You know, I haven't looked at the card top to bottom, to be
I
honest.
might have an article for it.
I know Rana Willink is in the mix. I'm pretty high on Rana right now. She obviously got the submission in her Who's Number One debut, so I think she could come out and steal the show. But I do also think Jane Fragosa could be someone who comes out and puts on some incredible jiu-jitsu. I think she just double golded at one of the IBJJF Opens over the weekend, so I could definitely see her stealing the show a little bit at the Spokane submission series.
Big time. If I could throw out a matchup where I feel like it's going to be, some real fun stuff. Like I mentioned, the main event is 2 UFC veterans. That's very cool. But I think that Charlie Gilpin, going to throw out my maybe cousin. Him taking on Fedor Nikolov is actually a pretty good fight. Charlie is super scrappy, has been popping up on Instagram with more and more sick finishes with some great leg locks, just super aggressive game overall. And Fedor is that guy who beat Heisem at Fight Pass Invitational last year. And so I think that these are two guys who are definitely on the come up, looking to get a little bit more notoriety. Both have some serious skills. I think that Nikolov's best move, he's a really good Kani Basami guy. So keep an eye out for that. I think that this is a great match that people should be on the lookout for. I'm going to throw that one out there.
All right, I got a new one looking at this card. There's a new best thing going on.
Luke Skywalker is fighting here.
Is it Stuart
Nice.
Cooper? Is it the inclusion of Stuart Cooper?
Right on. It's a tag team match, dude. If you guys look at the bottom there, we have a tag team match. Tyler and Caleb Alvarado versus Michael Olson and Satchel Schetzel.
We don't get many tag team matches.
Not a lot of tag team matches on FloGrappling, bro.
I gotta know the rules.
We
we need to learn more about.
Yeah, we got to dive into this tag team match. This is incredible, dude. Someone at Spokane hit us up, slide in the DMs, and let us know all everything.
With the pit, they're doing the tag too. I don't
everything
know if I've
we
seen,
need to know
tag
about
team
this
pits.
tag team match. This
Do you
is
think
going to
you can
be
tag team from a position? So
I think you have to get to the corner and physically tag the
full
person.
WWE style
Yeah,
tag.
And then they jump in from the top of the pit.
They must.
Dude, RKO off the top of the pit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, into a Darce? Imagine an RKO variation where you go into a Darce.
Is there any two people? A straight up question. Is there any two people that we could get that you would feel confident in beating the Ruotolos in a tag team pit match?
I don't know.
They don't have to know each other. It could be like Buchecha and Hodger.
Honestly, we might have to get Roman Reigns and The Rock to
be
join
tough.
sides.
Yeah.
And they have to be allowed. All moves are a go, and I don't know if they could beat the Ruotolos.
I'm seeing Ty picks up one of the guys at a rear body lock, German suplex
Walks him
style
over.
thing. Walks him over, tag, flying Darce off the top
Yeah.
from Kade. That he hits on the way down.
That's incredible, dude. It would literally be like a 3D, but he would catch the Darce along the way.
Exactly. yeah.
Ty versus The Rock. I'm taking Ty all day.
For sure, dude. Definitely.
Roman versus Cade.
What if
That feels
it's-
a little closer. To
What
be
if
honest,
it's at WrestleMania though?
I think that's Ty's coming out party.
Yeah,
that's
Ty's going over.
We might have to go back to early 2000s, late 90s. Undertaker Kane maybe would.
Yeah, Brothers of Destruction versus the Ruotolos.
Oh,
in the
hell
pit.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the pit.
And they're allowed paranormal activity. So
Oh, okay. So they got the lightning.
Yeah.
They got the all right.
that's incredible. I don't know. I need to learn. I need to
Spokane
learn.
submission series.
Yeah.
Get on this.
Man, you guys got something going right, man. I'm all in now. Okay,
On the
I didn't
tag
realize
team
there was
matches.
a tag team match in the pit going
we
on.
need more information.
Yeah, I'm all in. I want to go now. I don't know if it's too late to book a
It's just
flight.
tucked at the bottom of the
Yeah,
card.
yeah, we need to move that to the main event. What's going on,
where-
dude? Imagine the Signs brothers, but you get all
That's what I was gonna
all
say.
five of them, a 5-on-5 tag match, or maybe what's the one
Handicap match?
like War Games or something.
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So.
All right, that's awesome. I've always said we need to throw in a tables, ladders, and chairs match on Who's Number One. I don't know the logistics of it, but this is a good pilot. It's test.
getting closer.
Yeah, I'm all in on this. This is awesome. But let's move on to the next question because we're getting off the rails a little bit, talking a little bit too much WWE. So our next question is from the only Inca, and he said, "Have WWE wrestlers participated there?" So to bring it right back to WWE wrestling. I don't know for sure what that question means. I don't think we've ever had a WWE wrestler participate on a FloGrappling.
I don't like who's number one or anything. Certain.
Maybe not even any jiu-jitsu event that I could think of.
But Darren Wynn, he hasn't done any professional wrestling?
I don't know if Duran has done any pro wrestling, but he's like best friends with Daniel Cormier, and Cormier is a huge pro wrestling guy. So for sure, this guy,
I feel like he's done at least some small cards or something.
yeah, something,
like,
right?
All right, so there we go. Maybe this one. Maybe Spokane.
I know there are some WWE and professional wrestling guys who are super into jiu-jitsu. Dean Ambrose, John Moxley is one example. He'll even compete. Well, the Masters guy once in a while.
The Undertaker had his the Hell's Gate was like a modified
go-go'd up.
Go Plata. So the Undertaker does know some jiu-jitsu. So.
Big time.
Dude, I've always thought there is definitely some space in the pro wrestling world where if you start hitting like if you learn a variation of a Berimbolo into some sort of finisher, that would be a pretty sick looking finishing move in pro wrestling. There's a few things obviously that people could tie in more, but all right, so we don't really know about that one, but cool thought, I guess. Maybe after Spokane, who knows? There might be tons of WWE guys.
Zack Sabre Jr. up in here.
Yeah. All right. Our next question comes from Jared Spencer 83. This is a little bit more of a statement. We did ask for questions. I'll let it fly this time, but this one's just a statement from him. He said Maria Rafato needs to be on WNO, Double Gold ADCC Trials, and PDX Open. I agree. I think Maria Rafato is a great candidate to be on WNO. Definitely someone who there's a lot of matches to be made with Maria Rafato on WNO, and very deserving athlete to compete on Who's Number One, if you ask me.
Yeah,
big time. There's
Maria Rafato.
Yeah, big time. I feel like that Maria Rafato Gilpin. I feel like there are a lot of athletes out there who are definitely like deserving, quote unquote, of being on Who's Number One. Keep coughing.
Joey coughs.
It's just tough to find the right matchup, and things have to work out. But I feel like she is somebody that's kind of like been kicked around before and brought up. So, and yeah, by the end of 2025, don't be surprised if she's in the mix against like a Paige Yvette. Would be a super sick match. Couple total brawlers.
But Jared Spencer 83 hit up Ricardo Amendolia. Tell him he makes the matches and everything. So just blow him up in the DMs. 1,000 messages a day. That's my recommendation. And then our last question here from Big Uncle Zach Meslani, a friend of the program. We brought him up earlier. One of the coolest dudes into the jiu-jitsu space. He said, should hockey players learn judo? And this is probably coming off the tails of the Four Nations event, which was super epic, to be honest. USA, Canada in their first meeting, they ended up meeting in the finals, and I don't even remember how that one went. Who cares how that one went? It was more about the first clash between USA and Canada, where there were 3 fights within the first 9 seconds. And I will say, a definite lack of judo, and honestly,
very little Newaza.
Yeah. So do you guys think hockey players should learn judo?
100%.
All right.
Says yes.
Stock's got to take. Stock's got to take.
Well, I just think that, at the very least, they got to work on their grips, because it's all about the grip.
Got those big
left hand always makes a grip first, and if you can start to work some exchanges with the grips, I don't know, you open up a whole new ballgame.
True.
If a hockey player hit some big throw with a grip, that would be an all-time
insane.
Can you imagine the liability, though?
Yeah,
100%.
Judo throw with ice skates.
Yeah.
Your ice skate is flying up in the air while you're trying to toss somebody.
Yeah, if you tried to like Uchimata him, you'd friggin' cut open his femoral.
I'm sure it's like a strict, what is it, like schoolhouse yard rules only. It's like once it hits the ground, it's over.
Pretty much.
So maybe you forfeit too much if you go right to the judo. You got to get a couple licks in first, I guess.
Because that does happen every once in a while, where somebody gets nicked by an ice skate or something like that, and it can be crazy.
As far as I know, Happy Gilmore's still the only guy to try to take off his skate and stab someone. So I know that was his claim to fame back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many more days till hockey tryouts, but we got to get in the batting cage, start taking some shots to the dome ski, toughen up a little bit. But I agree. I think someone hitting an insane judo throw on the ice would be unreal.
I like how Zach was just like watching the Four Nations, and he was just like, "There's a lot of opportunity here. We're kind of missing
like pussy."
Yeah, that'd be sick, dude. Imagine that though. Even just like a foot sweep, just like, and the dude just like gets bundled up, falls like a sack of potatoes.
We got to get some hockey players just doing jiu-jitsu, or just judo, but also jiu-jitsu.
Big time.
That'd be good.
Talking about the Four Nations, it kind of did just show like it's always awesome when you can get the best guys from this country against the best guys from this country. And if we could get something like that for jiu-jitsu, the best Brazilians against the best Americans. I feel like there are cards every once in a while where it's like, this is Brazil.
But it's like if we also have like
USA.
a UK team and a Norway team or an Australia team, like that could be super hype for sure.
It would be so, Team Poland, according to our producer, Nikki.
Team Poland would be pretty good.
Honestly, Team Poland would be pretty
I wouldn't
sick.
want to fight Team Poland for sure.
No.
If we did like 8 nations, like Poland's
Poland would have like Adam Wardzinski, Marcin Mashialovic, Pavel Jaworski, Mateusz Szczęsny. Like that's a pretty unreal team.
1,000%.
But Yeah. A very hard to pronounce team for sure. Anything else before we get out of here, boys?
Yeah, it's just if you got some questions next time, jump in there on Sunday. We'll try to put out something on Instagram. If you got some burning questions that you want us to answer, as Trey showed.
No more statements, dude.
Nothing that
We'll
will
read
hurt our
anything
feelings.
on the podcast.
We'll read anything. Yeah. There was one. Since we'll read anything, there was one that said, "Why'd you rob J-Rod?" But we already addressed that. So go watch the other podcast. There you go. Your question's answered.
Because we don't like him.
We did a full podcast about it.
Yeah. But yeah. So there we go. Thanks for watching this episode of the FloGrappling Show. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you all in the next one.